Hi and welcome to the video training of JavaScript. Yesterday we did an app related to the data that was being fetched through the API provided by a REST countries API.eu. Today in today's video training we will be looking at number facts API using JavaScript. We would like to thank you numbersapi.com for providing this service, and I'm mentioning their name because it's related to them. In this video we are going to utilize different APIs provided by a website called numbersapi.com. We will use some of the API endpoints provided by this service, for example math, that return a fact about a number with relevancy to maths. Second one is trivia, return a fact about a given number. The third one is date, it returns a fact about a given date. So the requirements for this application are: you need a computer or a laptop, you need an internet connection, and you need any of the modern browsers: Chrome, Firefox, Microsoft Edge, or Safari. Now here is our numbers app. So let's get our hands dirty and let's jump into the terminal. Okay, so here we are. Personal projects, JavaScript. Okay, here we are. I'm going to create a new project directory for this project, and this is called numbers API. Numbers API. Okay, the first thing we need to do is we need to create an HTML file, and for that I'm going to use Sublime. I'm going to create index.html file, and here we are going to do our working. So HTML body, close the body. Okay, here in the title we can say page title, we can say within the head, and title, let's delete this one, and it's called numbers API. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to create some HTML elements. So label, select data to fetch, and this is the end of our label. Then we add a break, line break, and we add a drop down here, select okay, ID equals API, name equals API, and on click of this drop down we are going to call a function called fetch data. We are going to send this element, this drop down, as a parameter. Okay, so the first option is an empty one, it doesn't include anything, it just says select, and that's it. The second one is value equals math, mathematics, and the third one is trivia, and the fourth one is date. It's called date. So we're done with our drop down. Now we need an input type text, that is a text box, and I'm going to set its ID to text and placeholder to enter term here. So this is our program, and here we are going to say h2 API response will be displayed below. That's end of h2 tag, and then we have the results div with the ID results. That's for our HTML. Now let's jump into our JavaScript. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create a fetch data function. So function fetch data, and it receives the drop down as a parameter, and this is an object. So what we are going to do is here is we are going to define the API URL base path, which is http://numbers.api.com/ and the second thing we are going to define here is the term. The term we can get easily by document.getElement by ID, and this is text dot value. Okay, so the first thing we need to check is if e dot value equals math. If it equals math, then we need the term thing. So if term triple equals blank, what we are going to do is we are going to alert the user that enter term, and we set term dot focus. Okay, so and if the term has been provided, then we are going to concat something to the API URL which is the term and the endpoint math, which is provided here. Okay, now we are going to else if, and in the else if we are going to add up trivia, and here we are going to do the same, more or less the same thing, and here we just need to concat term. We don't need math, and we need one more else if that will tackle our third API endpoint, which is date. For the date, we have to add up date term plus date. That's it for here, and now we are going to send request to the server API URL, then function. What then will done is it will response as JSON, and once the result has been received, it will call the show data function, which will be creating just now. So we have this function here called fetch data, and above we are going to use show data, and it receives data, and going to say here document.getElement by ID, and here we are going to say results, and results.inner HTML equals data. So that's our total application. Don't worry, this code will be available on the GitHub repository that I will share in the YouTube description, so you can easily clone it from there and test on your own. So this is our little program, and now we need to run this. To run this, just you need to go to the appropriate folder. In my case, I have personal projects folder, then I have JavaScript folder, and I have numbers API, and I have index.html. So this is our program. So first we need to test is the math one. So I just type in number 5 and here I say math. Let's see what I get. Okay, looks like there's some problem with the JavaScript space, and there is some okay, the issue here is that we are converting the response to JSON, but the response is not JSON, it is just a simply text. So I'm changing it to .text, and now if we go to our browser and refresh it and run it again, let me type number 10 and select math from here. So I got a fact about number 10 which says 10 is the allocated sum of only one number, the discrete semi-prime 14. So if I type in 5 and I again select math, I get a fact about number 5, which is 5 is also the number of platonic solids. If I write in number 15 and select math again, I'll get some fact about the number 15. So our math API is working just fine. Now let's try the trivia one. For the trivia, we don't need anything special, just select trivia, and it says 15 is the number of times an average person laughs a day. Okay, let's change it to 13. Let's say what's in 13 is the number of colonies that form the United States. So that's an interesting fact. Okay, and the last one is date. For the date, we need date like today is 11th September. I'm going to say 11/09, and I'm going to select date, and it says November 9th is the day in 1994 that chemical element Durham Stadium is discovered. So basically we need to write month first and date second as in American format. So if I click date again, it gives me some fact about September 11 is the day in 2007 that Russia tested the largest conventional weapon ever, the father of all bombs. So all our APIs are working just fine. So you will be able to download this code from the YouTube description GitHub URL that I will share just now. Thanks for watching this video. Please do subscribe to my channel. If you liked this video, you can contact me for help or programming advice or suggestions by commenting on this YouTube video or at my email usman@techweber.com. Thank you very much.